Hello there, Rando fans, and welcome to some main tourney action here on SpeedGaming 2. My name is Tyler Salt. I'm joined here in the booth by Star1468. Star, how are you this evening?
Doing pretty good, you?
I am really good. I'm looking forward to what should be a pretty good match here. Game 1 in the third round of 16, between GanonsGoneWild on the left side of your screen and Buane, newly minted runner-up in the NMG tournament on the right side of your screen. Our runners will be getting ready here and should be getting started for you momentarily here. What are we hoping for here today, Star? What do you want on Uncle, say, in our standard seed?
I've always kind of been nice. Let's see. Honestly, Kane start's always fun.
But which one?
Either one.
Either Kane. Yeah, I like that. I'm good with either Kane. That should be fun. Yeah, only looking at chat. Only one late race tomorrow. So plenty.
Correct.
Yeah, plenty of rando today. But as the number of runners goes down, the number of matches goes down. But the matches hopefully will continue and still be entertaining. And we should be ready here to go in just a moment.
Yep. There are also still a number of Challenge Cup matches. There are 5 matches tomorrow alone for the CC. There's also that, though those don't get as many restreams. And rough. Race you to the castle, lol.
All right, old man. Oh, Buane didn't start his timer. Oh well. Oh, we got a hook shot.
Oh, nice. It doesn't count as a weapon for logic purposes, but hey, it's nice to have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to help, if we get, say, the fire rod or one of those canes, right? The hook shot is going to make farming significantly easier for our runners, as well as helping out in movement here early on. I actually just got hook shot in Link's house for the first time the other day in a standard seed and had to figure out. It's like, oh, well, I can do the hook shot here and move it around. It's fun.
Yep. Yeah, you can do things like just hookshot bushes and whatnot for faster movement, like you saw both of them do on the Uncle drop down, which Uncle gave us a bow, and then, oh hey, 10 more arrows on the chest. Thanks, Uncle.
Oh, I saw a stun prize that was a heart, as well as a small magic drop from those guards, and I believe that was the first drop there. So that means our guards and ropes will have bombs. It's pretty deep in the pack, but we will be able to get a single bomb drop from the guards and ropes.
Yeah, unfortunately with the bow, they're going to have to be careful with what ammo they use in order to try and get those drops.
Yeah, I mean, 30 arrows. I guess that's true. I did get in one of my Challenge Club matches, I did get my only bomb of escape with my final arrow off of a mouse in the back. So you do have to be a little bit careful there.
Like, it's not bad to have 30 arrows, but it's also entirely possible, to just run out.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to shoot those moving targets, those ropes, those mice, the rats in the back of escape. But bow, one of the faster items to do with kind of the faster weapons for escape there. And there's our single rupee there.
GW missing an arrow and now putting them in sync here, actually.
A early sync. You love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, because previously GanonsGoneWild GW was just a touch ahead, but missing that one arrow has now put them neck and neck.
It's insurmountable lead here on SpeedGaming 2. Go do something else with the rest of your evening. Don't do that. Stay here.
Now, I will suppose mention that there is another match going on right now over on SpeedGaming Main between Obscure Lightform and Jet082. As you see, a Heart Piece and Zelda Cell.
Yeah, defending champion, Jet082.
Indeed. Yeah, still nearly in sync here. They've just minor differences in movement and the like. No real noticeable, though. I heard there were shenanigans happening in that race. Yes, I do believe so. No spoilers, please, from chat, but OLF versus Jet was definitely something.
All right, we continue our quest for bombs here in Escape. The story early on in a lot of these standard seeds. Want to get that bomb for the back of Escape, be able to get those 3 chests. This next chest in Dark's Cross is guaranteed to be the key, and I don't think we've seen the map yet either, so that is going to be coming there in the back of Escape.
Correct, yeah, I was going to say not see the map. It's alright. Blaine's last drop was Recovery Heart, GanonsGoneWild's last was the Green Rupee. As far as the drop packs go, if I'm keeping track, was the map vanilla, and we're just scatterbrained.
Hey, there's a bomb from the ropes. Oh, map was vanilla. All right, never mind. Thanks. Shoutouts to Linkforce, our tracker. Yeah.
And there's the bomb for GGW, and the key for both.
That's what you want to see. You want to see both runners get a bomb. You don't want to, like, the race to come down to that, you know, or the early game, certainly. So we got that bomb. We're good. Now the question becomes, with that early bow, do we see an Eastern run from one of our runners?
Possibility. Usually runners like to go to Kakariko after doing this escape, but that bow does make Eastern more appealing to play. And since as we see a whole, there's a sword in the back of Escape. That's not useless.
No, I'd really like to see that. That's going to make darkroom navigation significantly simpler. And hey, you need it to beat the game. It's good.
Yeah, you do.
So, yeah, gonna need that. Yeah, we'll see. I doubt either of our runners is going to bail here and run over towards Easter Palace, but if it's a crystal, you know, I could see somebody maybe skipping out on South Shore and going directly to Eastern. Entirely possible.
Yep, and here, Buane just slightly ahead of GGW, both sub 6 escape, nicely done. And yeah, let's see, map check. Crystals on Eastern and Desert, and a regular pendant and the blue pendant on Hera.
Excellent. So we could see that Eastern play early. We'll see whether either of our runners takes the bait on that. After our run into Kakariko, the sink is still pretty real here.
Very much so. Neither of them checking the Lumberjack pledge, which may or may not come back to bite them later.
Ooh.
Hey, Moonpearl.
Yeah, I'd like to see that early on.
And I did also a quick plug, while we're still in our intro bit here, shoutouts to both of our runners, GanonsGoneWild and Buane, and to my co-commentator Tyler Salt, and also to our tracker working behind the scenes, Linkforce Zero. And hey, interesting play, Buane safe quitting immediately here at the boss boards.
I like this without bombs. No bombs. Buane only has 3 rupees. So yeah, absolutely. One of my least favorite things to do is be forced with being forced to this position where you're like going into Cackwell or Blind's Hut without bombs. That just feels super bad. What GanonsGoneWild is doing right here. So Buane gonna farm some bombs here. GG Dubs is getting a Master Sword and 300 rupees. Both of those are good. And a glove. None of them are going to blow up that door, though, unfortunately.
No, but at $300, we'll buy him some bombs, so that's helpful.
Yep.
And give you the bottle vendor, which is, hey, bomb!
So, some expensive bombs, but, you know, we got them.
Hey, it works.
So, this is the round of 16. Here in the tournament, Buane versus GanonsGoneWild. The winner of this best of 3 matchup will win the right to take on the winner of Dante and P-Train, who was our final runner to join us in the round of 16 earlier today. So yeah, a lot of great runners. Our round of 16 here as our runners are doing some checks here. Oh, there are some free bombs there in the tavern chest. That's too bad. So these two, Dante P-Train. We got Ninban versus Pika Pals, Zelga Disan versus Allison, Gamachu versus Lin Lin Lin. That should be a banger. Asasas versus Top Life, Shady Force versus Error, and Obscure Lifeform versus Jet 082, which is going on right now over on SpeedGaming Prime. So yeah, we're getting down to it in this tournament.
Yes, we are, as we find a half magic and blind hut, and not a whole lot else of note. Both the race team and the library were dead.
Yeah, so not much out of Kakariko here today. That makes me feel even better about my instinct to run over to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, because it looks like at this point it's Eastern Palace, perhaps South Shore into Eastern, but in either case, CAC has not provided much in the way of immediate progression. Glove is nice, Master Sword is good for later. You'll need, but it's not immediately helpful.
Yeah, nothing new has opened up because of these checks. I suppose with the glove, we have some out of logic mountain shenanigans that we can get into. So there are plenty of good stuff here in CAC, but nothing immediately that gives our runners any new choices. So
No.
We'll see where they go here.
Yep, 2 swords already. We are not that far from having to do Aghanim, honestly.
Yeah, but either the hammer or the mitts showing up will get us to avoid that. We would need a lamp for Aga anyway, in logic at least. All right, Buane is done with Kakariko. He's our first runner. Done. Let's see where he's headed.
Looks like heading south here, so this will be South Shore, it seems. May skip, so this is likely Dam, Mini Moldorm into Ice Rod Cave, and then up to Eastern is my guess for how to loop around.
Yeah, we've definitely started seeing more development of the meta as we get some divergence early on. GanonsGoneWild headed off to Eastern Palace. You know, we've seen a little bit of this Dam over into Agina save and quit play. We've seen a lot of that lately, kind of splitting these off in half. There's our hammer, though, at the Dam. So that's Dark World access in the 12th minute.
Yeah, if Buane wants to, he could check Hype Cave immediately here as well. Get hacked, Aga. Well, there still could be an item on the Lumberjack ledge. Neither runner checked it, so we have no idea what it is.
Yeah, so we opened things up significantly here very early on, which is always really interesting to watch when our runners have a lot of choices. We get the Cane of Samaria there in Sahasrah's closet. Maybe that's why Sahasrah just stays put. It's because he lost his cane in his closet, and then some Hyrule youth stole it from him. That's probably why.
And, oh, okay, sure, you know what? Alright, 12th minute, tempered. Thanks, game!
You'll love to see it. That's the last sword that our runners will see. Yeah, so this is, of course, being hard standard. If you are not familiar with the mode that we've been playing all tournament, it's hard standard. You're capped at 14 hearts. There are 4 swords in the pool, but you can only collect 3 of them. You can't collect either mail upgrade. You won't be able to get the silver arrows. Any of those, once you are picking things up that you are not allowed to get in hard, they'll turn into green 20s. We get another 300 rupees there, our first item in Eastern Palace, as Buane makes his way over into Ice Rod Cave.
Which is vanilla.
Ice Rod. How about that?
Is this even rando?
Oh, man. Right. Buane pulling out that hammer, gonna put Eastern off a little bit longer. That makes sense, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple of quick checks here on the Hype Cave.
probably get the rest of our map check here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Pendant, Pendant Skull, Green Pendant TR, and then I think we had 5-6 crystals down there on the south. Is that what I saw?
Yep, Swamp and Ice are the red crystals.
All right.
I actually managed to read the map correctly for once. I really
Very
suck
good.
at it.
So we got Vanilla Ice Rod early, and so TR is a pendant. Very
Because of
good.
course it is.
Because
All
of
right.
course it is.
Alright, Quake, Junk, and Junk. In type
So
game.
1 out of 10.
Maybe it depends. Well, how much that is depends on what if Quake actually unlocks.
Well, that's why I
more-
gave it 1, right?
Yeah.
Like if like if we knew that it was required, then 2. All right.
Mhm. And I think one of the main reasons why Buane might have chosen to do Hype Cave before Eastern is he was hoping to perhaps find a mirror there to chain Pod and Eastern together. Unfortunately, no mirror there.
Yeah, looks like GanonsGoneWild going to have to reset the back. Buane gets the okay. Boomerang off of Stumpy. Just going wild with those arrows, as per his name. But yeah, lost track of the Igor a little bit. Decided to leave the room, come back in to reset, and that makes a lot of sense. Good play there by GGW.
Yep. And we're about to see the dead game from Buane. All the digs today. Nineteen
There's our
digs for a
lamp.
lamp. Alright, I'll take
take
that
it.
for 19 digs.
Yeah, absolutely. Buane will save a little time over here in Eastern Palace compared to GanonsGoneWild with that lamp.
We'll not need to worry about trying to navigate the... We'll save a little time by not needing to navigate the dark rooms without a lamp. I mean, these runners both know how to do dark rooms with a lamp, but it doesn't mean that it's not nice to have one, as we see our second and final shield of the seed.
Right, the best shield, the red shield, here.
Is one of the most forgotten and honestly more forgettable parts of Hard is that you don't have a shield. You don't have mirror shield.
All right, Buane is not interested in doing Eastern Palace right away. He's going straight over into Pod, skipping Eastern Palace, skipping Saha's Closet. Nothing in either of those dungeons that's really going to make a difference in either in Palace of Darkness. So not losing any time here necessarily, but you like it.
Yep.
Go for
Oh, there's
density.
more Texans location, yes, and it has more items and is also a crystal in any case. Samaria is Saha's hut. We'll save a touch of time for getting to Helmasaur, but that's about it.
Yeah,
It's
not much time.
it's only a couple seconds, which really isn't going to make a difference. Hammer is right here.
Ask and ye shall receive. All right, so Aga on life support. Really, the only thing that we could need from Aga is if there's something on Lumberjack, which neither of our runners has checked and probably won't until we get the boots, I would imagine.
Likely correct, as there is a key in the first check of Pod, so not necessarily hard bow locked, not that it matters considering they got one from the uncle.
Yeah, and with an early bow, and maybe this is, we might want to ask Buane this when it comes to interviews if he joins us. With early bow, since the bow only locks one check in Eastern and can lock everything in Pod, if you're trying to read the logic, a lot of runners will say, all right, early bow, that might be pointing towards Palace of Darkness and not Eastern Palace. So I wonder if progression-wise, and there are our mitts from Buane. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, as we also saw the King of Berta in the front of Pod as well, just for the funsies, and that's both items in the front.
Yep, so everything left in here will be a small key, as we see GGW is doing a fake flipper Gonna go check out some of these water checks.
Yep. We already saw earlier that the Lake Highly Island, I believe, was a red rupee, so they won't be checking that, getting that later today. Yeah, it's curious as to why GGW decided to do fake Flipper here when he has other things to do. Also, yes, orphaning that ice rod, so that might not make a difference considering that TR is a pendant today.
Yep, but we're gonna have to keep track of that for sure. Better hope nothing on Trinex or on that green pendant. There. There's a heart container on the Zora ledge. Don't need to do any splash delete shenanigans there.
Yeah, I've seen a couple from vanilla items, but I don't think I've ever seen a vanilla ice rod, so that's fairly unusual.
Well, it's bound to happen sometime.
Yeah, King Zora is a giant scam as always. $50 for your 300, not
That's
worth
a
it.
10% return, but not the 10%, not the kind of 10% return you're usually hoping for.
No, well, I might call it negative 90% return technically.
Well, you gave him 500, and he returned 10% of it.
I suppose.
And there it is. I was looking for that copy pasta in chat. Very good.
For a monkey, I mean, I guess monkey and then potions later, because he did have 159 previously before picking up that 50, so I suppose it works out. Might as well. Hey, Flipper, speaking of.
So far, everything kind of coming up Buane. His decisions have worked out a little bit better than GGW's so far. Still very early, it can very easily move around depending on what GGW finds over here in the Village of Outcasts area. And there's the mirror.
Just as he was about
loaded.
to death warp. He was just about to death warp too.
Ooh, man, that's you better if you're rooting for GDW, you better hope he makes it over there to pod before too long. Buane headed to the back, Lonely Heart. Buane, the owner of a Lonely Heart.
Yeah, I mean, it was the right choice at that time. Just so happened that, oh, hi, mirror. And I have to say, agree that this is one loaded pod. We found ourselves mitts, flippers, the mirror, and the Cane of Berta just for the extra funsies.
Yeah, and that's gonna work out really well for Buane because, of course, with that mirror, he can now combo in Eastern and Saha's Closet as well. Knock out another crystal from Eastern and grab the Cane of Samaria from Sahasrahla.
Yeah, and we saw our first item in Skull was off of the big chest, which was 10 arrows. And GGW's can leave the rest of it behind, not having a fire rod, and the second item has a good chance of being in the back, so there's really not much point in sticking around.
Yeah, I'm team always check Skullwoods, but if you get that item right away in that first check, you don't have the fire rod, totally okay with leaving it. We see a big 20 up there on Bumper Ledge, won't be coming back for that.
Also to note, yes, Buane getting paid out by finding the mirror in pod and doing it before Eastern, hoping to find a mirror, and hey, it works out.
Yep.
Getting a bit of additional health here, which is good because Buane was on 1 after that mirror. And Village of Outcasts for GGW turns up a shroom.
So GGW is going to have a fully clearable Thieves Town here. Got that hammer. Will be able to do the whole thing. This play by Buane, it was a totally reasonable one. It's not a big Galaxy Brain thing or anything. And really, it's not even going to lose GGW a ton of time, right? It just really worked out efficiency wise, and Buane's going to be able to do a little bit more efficient routing. If there's something in Cave 45 Buane has already done those South Dark World checks though, right?
He has. He's done Hype Cave, he's done Stumpy.
Yeah,
he's done the Dig Game.
So it's going to work out a little bit as far as efficiency. It's not a huge time difference, but if there's something in one of those early mirror checks that Buane rushes with that mirror, we could see something open up there. But yeah.
And that's a good point from chat also that we might not even need the Fire Rod period this seed, with Skullwoods and Turtle Rock both being pendants. It is entirely possible that we don't need a Fire Rod if Bombos is available. Since you can skip right side GT with logically Fire Rod required checks with a bomb jump, but it is fairly precise and a bit tricky to get. We see the single arrow and some a big key, a compass, and some other junk in the front of Thieves, so there's 2 items in the back.
Yeah,
the
that's a tricky
GT
bomb
climb
jump.
does not require Fire Rod.
Nope.
You can't just lamp it all, but you have to move. You have to do the rooms a little differently, I think, but it's not that bad. The right side bomb jump is a little trickier.
Yeah, the key point, the actual bomb jump itself is not particularly difficult. The key thing, you got to remember to go into the first room, the room to the top of that room, right, just north of that room with the torches, and leave through there so that when you fall in the pit, you come back up out of that top run.
Yes. One of the biggest things is the timing, but at this level, top 16 in the main tournament, I expect that both runners would probably know how to do the right side bomb jump. And alright, nothing new for Buane here. Nothing there for GGW. That is the 3rd item in Thieves Town, was some more bombs, so Thieves Town not paying out today. Seems.
No, we will. Yeah, we will get that crystal, and we do have that hammer there, so can get into that big chest if we need.
Yep.
So if you're Buane, right, you now, after you go to Eastern and Sahasrara here, the world is your oyster here a little bit. Where are you headed if you are Buane?
I mean, I honestly might just go clear out Thieves Town just because it is a crystal, clear out the Dark World, the Village of Outcasts checks. Since they can't get into Desert, they can't. You could try the front of Swamp, but that's not the most appealing without a hookshot. And you can't get into Ice Palace.
I might run up the mountain.
You could run up the mountain. Big key chest in Eastern. I think it might be the compass. I haven't been keeping track. Well, the final item in Thieves is on Blind, because that was the map.
Yeah, and I think the vanilla big key chest in Eastern was a dungeon item. So. Oh, both of them skipped it, I thought. Or maybe GGW. I'm pretty sure both of them skipped it. But I guess, that's a good point.
Oh wait, no, I'm a dummy. Well. I forgot they have Swamp. I thought they were missing the hookshot, but no, the hookshot is one of several. It was in Link's house, and I'm a doof. Flippers were in Pod, as was the King of Verna, the Mitts, and the Mirror. Because Pod was limited today.
Yeah, so Swamp is definitely viable. I think Buane is going up the mountain here, though. Got that hook shot out. Yep.
Interesting choice, doing the mountain over dungeon progression. As is GGW's Crystal off Thieves. Absolutely nothing.
Maybe hoping to find the boots up here to make Thieves Town a little bit faster there. Hoping to find the flute maybe before going back to the villages area there.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. I like this plan for Buane.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. There's a lot of checks that are very, very quick here up on the mountain.
We do have a pendant Hera, unfortunately, which makes this a little bit less attractive. And we would be isolating Ether Tablet to a certain extent.
But we are not missing a lot. Yeah, we need Meyer access and a fire source for ice. That's about it. For what we absolutely need for go mode. And Buane here, having Mitts hammer and a hookshot. Can clear Dark Death Mountain as well. Even has the Cane of Burna and the Half Magic for Spike Cave.
Yeah. And we are going to need the flute as well, in addition to those things that you mentioned for Misery Mire. But hopefully our runners will
That's
find
what I
that.
meant by Meyer access.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about the medallion. But yes, you are correct. Of course. Saw a book there in Spec Rock Cave.
Yeah.
And Link Force is confirming
I
that
should
both of them skipped the big key in Eastern. So
yeah, thank you to our tracker. But yeah, that reminds me that technically Desert Access was also a requirement, and that is Desert Access. That we knew, so they already had Mirror and Mitz, so, and Meyer is also a crystal, so technically they most likely would have been able to just get the flute for Desert Access. But for all we know, flute is book locked, which would be funny.
That book coming in a convenient spot because Buane can just hop out here. And remember when I said that we'd be isolating Ether Tablet? No, not anymore. We can check it right now.
Nope. Buane's routing just paying out really well this seed, honestly.
Yeah, sometimes you hit the route, you know?
Yeah. And there's the cave. Speaking of Spike Cave accessibility, I think you might take the first two checks here in Hera, just the basement and the map chest, but you don't go up because that's too much of a time sink. Just a couple quick checks because they're pretty quick. They're almost overworld checks, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Fear Lamp was on Dig Game. Yeah, alright. Dicky was in the first check of Hera for Buane. Probably just gonna get this check here and get out. Well, there's our first bottle of the seed.
Alright, so one item in Hera. We're done in there.
Yes, you did, Fear. Yeah, well.
Alright, and GGW is about to go into the treasure trove that is the Palace of Darkness today. Gonna get mitts, gonna get flippers, and the mirror, all here in Palace of Darkness. Buane, on the other hand, gonna be showing us the Eastern Death Mountain checks here. I didn't see what was up on Floating Island. Did you catch it?
I'm afraid I didn't either. It was trash. Thanks, chat.
Right, Ether for Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock, our green pendant today. That Ice Rod was vanilla in Ice Rod Cave, which GGW did not go to. So we will see here. There's our first green 20 of the seed in Hookshot Cave. Some bombs. 100 rupees. Just a bunch of money.
Yep. Yeah, I do believe that was our first green 20. Quite likely a sword or a bow at this point. Could be the mirror shield.
It could be anything except for the hearts, right? You know, because it could be the mail, it could be the mirror shield, it could be the other bow, it could be the fourth sword, it could be anything. Yep,
there's a few items. That was at least a second. Okay, we just missed it then. As Super Bunnies eluded nothing. And yeah, thank you, Tim Bob, for the reminder. Shoutouts to my co-commentator Tyler Soul, to our tracker Link40, and to our two runners here, GanonsGoneWild and Buane, as GGW finds that blue cane.
Or unique items in pod.
Or unique, useful items.
Well, yeah, 4 non-single arrow unique items in pod.
Yeah, If Link to the Past did Way of the Hero Hints the way Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Rando have, pod would be probably triple Way of the Hero between. Let's see what was there: the mitts, the flippers, and mirror.
Yeah, no, craziness.
Alright, Paradox, Heart Piece, Dead Arrows, Heart Piece. And another bottle, and some running.
Terrible Paradox Cave there.
Yeah. That's a, I'd give that also a 1 out of 10 just for the bottle. It's not 0, but that's not great.
It wasn't even the first bottle.
No? The other one was just sitting in the front map chest of Hera. But just that mountain trip, unfortunately, not paying off for Buane, who did not use Sparkle or Spike Cave, actually.
That's a choice, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one that I don't agree with. I think you got to do at least one, if not both of those. If you're me, but Buane's way better at this than I am. So, what do I know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just going to orphan those two checks effectively on the mountain, because ideally, Buane will not be back up there until he has all 7 crystals.
Yeah, I mean, I guess considering what we're looking for, right? You know, we need either the Fire Rod or Bombos. We need the flute. We might need another medallion for Mire access, and maybe the boots, right?
Yeah, maybe
then, maybe then leaving those two time-consuming and annoying checks, maybe a pretty good idea.
Yeah, and Buane will mirror the sick kid here. Yep, there's a quick swap, just a little faster.
GGW setting up a death warp that will, of course, we know, be unnecessary.
Yep, both of them doing this understandable play that just kind of funny in hindsight. Sick kid is the Fire Rod, speaking of.
All right. So Bombos and Ice Palace, right?
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah, and a good point from James that since Buane is by and large almost god route of this seed, GGW citing, even with the mirror, is probably better just take the death warp to get the health back, which I can't blame him for, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
At that point, they would have takes maybe slightly longer, but can you get your health back? Not too bad. But at this point, we are just seeing checks we've already seen, as GGW goes through Pod, Buane goes through Thieves, and 35 minutes in, we are missing a flute. We might be missing a medallion. That's about it.
Yeah, no, that's about it. Craziness in this seed. You know, it just go where the items are. Do what Buane does and go to where the items are.
Fire Rod was Sick Kid, which reminds me, even the Death Mountain play was not a waste of time for Buane, honestly, having picked up that Fire Rod.
That's true. That's true.
Because they're both of the bottles were up there, and those are the only bottles we've seen.
So I think if you're GGW next, you go up the mountain. I mean, you know, you probably go up the mountain here, but there's a you know, swamp is also full clearable for both of our runners at this point. I would imagine Buane is headed there next, after Thieves Town here.
I would imagine so. Do swamp into ice, and then at that point, if you still haven't found the flute, maybe try desert.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Because desert's a really long walk, and you'd rather just chain it with Mire, honestly. Flute in desert would be pretty funny, though.
That's true. And so if you're GW, you are going to have to go up the mountain at some point. We think, at least. There's that book that's up there, Inspect Rock Cave. There are 2 bottles up there. One in Paradox, one on Ether Tablet, I believe. No, the other was in Hera, excuse me. So yeah. We'll see where our runners go next. GGW takes down Helma, gets crystal number 4.
Yep. Unfortunately, GGW is a little bit behind, through no fault of his own, really. Just Buane made some different choices and effectively has god routed this seed so far, which you can't really do much against.
Oh, I misread the tracker. I think one of those had lit up a little early. And I was like, oh, we're getting another one. So yeah, 3 crystals to 2. And Buane gonna get his 3rd crystal here before too long. And GGW this has got to be the swamp play at this point.
Perfectly understandable. I mean, I would do this honestly as well. It's a choice between this and Death Mountain, and this makes a lot of sense. It's progression. Well, Death Mountain has Pendant TR you might not be able to get into, and Pendant Hera. I mean, it does a lot of checks, but I can also see just rushing progression instead. Rods, Ice Rod is vanilla. Fire Rod is on Sick Kid with 2 bottles on Death Mountain.
All right, so GanonsGoneWild is going to give us our first look at Swamp Palace here. 6 items. It's a 5/6 crystal.
Yep. Our first red crystal, second is on Ice Palace, so Pyramid Fairy could have one of our go mode items.
Yeah, if you're a good point in chat that really what you want in here for GanonsGoneWild is, if you're rooting for GanonsGoneWild, is nothing, right? Because Buane is coming here next, almost certainly, right? And so if there's progression here, then there aren't many other chances for GGW to make up time, which is crazy to think that we're saying that in the 40th minute.
Yeah, I mean... Or, look, yeah, because GGW has been playing well, but Buane's been god-moding this and has had a lot of small efficiencies here that have added up.
Yeah, I will say the thing here, if we do find a thing, if we do find a unique item in here, the best thing that can come up for GGW is Bombos, right? Because if Bombos is in here, then it's entirely, and then like the flute is in Ice Palace, right? Then the entirety of Death Mountain was a waste of time for Buane.
Yeah, because the big thing that paid out for Buane was the bottles, which got him his
the
Fire
fire
Rod.
rod on Sick Kid, right? And there's the book up there, right? If the if desert is, or if, toughed out there for GGW.
Ooh.
Swamp can throw a lot of damage at you really quickly,
Yeah, which doesn't help GanonsGoneWild's current situation in any case. Yeah,
I'm
bottle.
doing
I feel like he'd like a bottle, maybe a flute because he is also short that book. But flute wouldn't really, not necessarily. No, come to think of it, yeah, he'd really like that bottle or just Bombos for that matter.
Yeah, if there's a bottle in here that would get him the fire rod at Sick Kid or bomb, yeah, that would. And then the flute is behind those or somewhere else, right? That isn't book locked. That's the best case scenario because then he could just skip all of Death Mountain.
Yep, and just go up there for GT and nothing else, as we see the bloomerang on the Smiths.
Australian dwarven stick makers, stick benders. There we go.
Just some bombs on the compass chest there of Swamp. GW is going to head straight for the back.
Yeah, I believe we got 2 items there in those first 2 chests. So,
yep.
Pretty standard play here to go straight to the back once you've got 2 items.
Mm-hmm. And looking at the chat was discussing what's up with Buane's timer. He didn't start it at the beginning of the race. I pulled up his personal stream. He eventually started it about 9 minutes late. There's Ether, which, wow.
That's not great. Ether's what we need to get into TR. Green Pendant TR. So, whoo boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's concerning. That depends. There is a 1 in 3 chance that is also the Meyer medallion, which would be ideal, but that also just doesn't do anything for GGW right now. In any case, beyond if he does end up going to Death Mountain after this, which he honestly, unless he finds something on Argus, might be the next play for him. Having nothing else to do. GGW might end up in Pendant Turtle Rock without a fire rod, which won't get him too far, at least, mercifully, but just additional time losses. Buane doing some overworld cleanup now, finding some bombs on the Bombos tablet.
And was thinking about maybe heading over there to Agina and Desert, but is going to go clear. Is going to move his portal here down here, then go do Agina and Desert smart, so that you can then run back to that portal once you're done and finish out Swamp Palace. But this is good. This is going to give us a lot of information here for Buane. Going to try to pay off that book one last time here.
Yep. Alright, and yeah, this is a Death Mountain play from GGW. There's another bottle on Nagina, which doesn't help GGW's case, unfortunately. These bottle locations suck.
Yep, and here goes GGW up the mountain, which from his perspective is absolutely the right play, but not gonna pay off too much here.
Well, it's not gonna help him pass Buane, because what he needed was something in Swamp to help him pull ahead, and unfortunately Swamp was a bust. Yeah, sure, one bottle, but who goes to Agina, especially with how much stuff they got early in this seed? They didn't have a reason to go to Agina.
GGW didn't go to either Agina or Ice Rod Cave. Both had unique items, or trackable items at least.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, so this desert check from Buane is going to give us a lot of useful information. If the flute is in here, that is pretty rough, I would say. There's a key. We don't know whether it's boots locked yet.
Nope, because the big key could still be on the torch.
And chat reminding us, of course, that Buane skipped both Spike Cave and Spiral Cave. So we'll see if GanonsGoneWild. I can't imagine that GGW will skip both of those. That seems like a pretty big move there by Buane. He will check at least Spiral Cave at a minimum, I would say.
And bad news for Buane, it's Boots Locked Desert. There was a heart piece and and I think it was a map there on the right side, so that's it.
Oh man,
so
if those boots are in Spiral Cave,
that could make a difference for GGW. It's still behind, but
make a significant difference. When is Buane going to go back up and check Spiral Cave?
True, it could take a while, since he is at this point decided he is leaving those to last location, and ideally he doesn't need to get back to the mountain at all until he needs to do GT. Spiral Cave is a mean place for Boots, just because Boots make that cave so much nicer. And another point is that, yes, GTW going a different way around the mountain is going to pick up the book after doing the Ether Tablet, unfortunately. And there is at least two, I think there are maybe 2 items I wasn't counting left in Swamp between the big chest and left side. This tablet was junk, Brutesque.
Alright, so our runners are going to be rehashing each other's checks here. For a little while. So let's recap here. Pod was absolutely loaded. Dark World Access was very early. And the big thing now is that Buane, we're looking for the flute, we're looking for the boots at this point. And we're going to see if anything else of value comes up here on Death Mountain. Buane did all of these checks, but skipped Spiral Cave and Spike Cave. So we shall see. Excuse me. We'll see whether either of those locations comes up with something big. We're looking for that flute. We're looking for the boots, and potentially still a Bombos medallion to get into Mire.
Yes, indeed. And other than that, we do have everything. They will be guaranteed to be able to clear GT since Desert is hard boots locked. Thanks, game. But it is looking like the seed is slowing down a bit, because they had a very, very jetty start. Buane here near about God routed most of the seed so far, and still is doing well. Currently doing Swamp, which, while it had nothing remotely of note, is at least progression. And Ice Rod, Zero Rush Ice Rod was vanilla. Fire Rod is on Sick Kid behind bottles in Hera, Paradox, and Nagina.
Yeah, and another point here. GanonsGoneWild, there are 2 items over on left side swamp. GanonsGoneWild did not go back and get them. So there are 2 items between the big chest and the left side. The big key being in the waterfall chest back here. So we'll see what Buane does vis-a-vis those checks.
Oh god, flute and lumberjacks. Neither runner checked lumberjacks, so it is possible for the flute to be there.
Sure
And
it is.
Pedestal is in logic between Hera, Skullwoods, and Turtle Rock. We do have a fire rod. We do have both rods and ether tablet and the ether medallion to get in the door. Along with cane, lamp, cape, everything.
Yep. Let the boots on ped chat begin.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Oh yeah, no, the bottles
Oh god.
were the bottles were on Death Mountain too. The third one's in Nagina, which is part of how Buane still god rounded it. Is he just did Pod versus Eastern, got the mirror. He did South Shore early. He went up the mountain. He picked up the bottles, and then went to Village of Outcast and got the Fire Rod at the same time as doing Thieves Town. And now he's here in Swamp. We do not know what is on Ped, but Boots can be there. So could the flute. And so could honestly be Bombus if it is recorded from Meyer.
All right, so GGW doing Spike Cave here over, again, both of them now skipping Spiral Cave, which is, again, certainly a choice.
Yes, it is. And just green 20 and Spike Cave is good news for Buane. As Buane is doing left side swamp here. The big red cane was in pod. I think. Or can I not read? No, Saha's hut. Sorry, can't read. GGW down to Ether tablet. That was the cave which he doesn't need. He could go back there later, but I think he's gonna leave those 2 checks behind. Where is he going, actually? Next question.
Sick Kid, and I would imagine, and then maybe the Smith Chain. That would be my guess.
That makes sense, because Buane did something similar. Well, there was junk in the big chest of swamp. Yeah, Ether wouldn't help anyway, and Ether just gives you access to 10-pendant Turtle Rock, which neither runner wants to do, really.
Certainly not in this seed. You do get 7 items out of it if you include the green pendant and Mimic Cave, but hoo boy, I hope for everybody's sake we don't need to do that.
Yeah, preferably no. You cannot do Diver Down for Left Side Swamp when you go to the back before you do Left Side Swamp, because you don't have the key for it.
Yep, in order for that to work, you need to steal that key from the main room. Exactly right.
Yeah, because that door by the switch you hit is key locked. And okay, give me a moment. I'll be back.
Yeah, no worries. All right, Buane got nonsense in the Swamp House. Big chest headed over here to get 2 items on the left side of Swamp. If there's something necessary over here, oh man, that could be the end. I don't want to say the end, but that would be very, very bad for GGW if there is something over here on left side Swamp. Just a big 20 in the first chest. And bombs. So GGW making the right call. Only pulling 3 items out of Swamp and noping out. So, and Buane headed right over to Ice Palace with his Fire Rod. Notably, GGW did not go to Sick Kid, does not have that fire rod. So again, a little recap. Buane has pretty much routed this as well as you can. Pod was absolutely loaded, and Buane did it all in the correct order. The fire rod is on Sick Kid. The ice rod is vanilla, and then we're looking for the flute, and we're looking for the boots. Desert is boots locked. And yeah, that's what we're looking for here. We might still need bombos for my air entry as well, but no word on that yet quite. Neither of our runners checked Spiral Cave as well, so if something is in there, that is a hard last location, I would have to guess. There is our flute in the Freezor chest of Ice Palace. Buane in control now in this seed. Very well. Not yet in go mode. We'll still be making checks here, looking for those boots. And yeah, GanonsGoneWild gonna get the bad news in here of a boots locked Desert. Does need to make his way to Sick Kid in order to get that fire rod, our next progression, that flute in Ice Palace. We need the boots and the flute. Death Mountain was basically empty for our runners. Pod absolutely loaded today. Mitts, mirror, flippers in there.
Yep, I am back, by the way. I see Buane has gone to ice now, and GGW is about to get the bad news about Desert.
Yeah, and Buane got the good news with the flute in the Pengator chest.
Oh, nice.
So everything coming up Buane so far.
So at this point, that'll be, after ice, that'll be Miter, and then at that point, see if your boots are there, and if not, I might honestly go Pendant TR after that if boots aren't in ice or Mire.
Agree. That was my very next thought. Yeah, it was like, well, boots on Laser Bridge, let's go.
Yep. And that's of course assuming that the 2 and 3 chance that they can't actually get into Mire. If it's Bombos, then that's one more item for go mode.
And one more thing to be in Pendant TR.
Mm-hmm. Something I just had a thought. Did we ever see the mushroom get turned in?
You know, we have not. We have not seen that mushroom get turned in yet. Good call.
Yep, we haven't seen fake powder either, so those are both options, and the runners never did end up going to those. Although that flute makes that powder, that mushroom turned in much easier. No, Blast Egg, this is actually a Sigma seed, I believe.
All the main tournament seeds are rolled by a Fear Agent, if I'm not mistaken.
No, in this case, I looked in the race room. Sigma put in the command.
Oh, okay. All right. I was misinformed then. My apology.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's 10 arrows on Cold Steer. I can't remember if we've seen all 3 items.
Oh, okay. The command must have DM'd the seed to the racers, and all the seeds were rolled by Fear. So, all right, here we go. We've got 50 rupees on the pyramid ledge. GGW is headed up, gonna check Catfish and turn in that mushroom on the way.
Makes a lot of sense. Buane going to do the water checks and chain mushroom in that way, orphaning Catfish.
Oh, we're gonna head over here, GanonsGoneWild, check out Graveyard Ledge first, which is a good little bit of routing. Now you can save and quit from the area, from the Zora area, or even walk back out, or even mirror from Catfish and then hop in the portal and head over, check Ice Rod Cave, get that Ice Rod.
Which is always there in the back of your... Well, for GGW, it's always in the back of your mind as a check you left behind. For Buane, that Ice Rod is just in the back of your mind, reminding you that Pendant TR exists.
Yeah, and is fully clearable at this point. So Buane has his flute out that he got out of Ice Palace, going to activate it and flute straight to 6. GGW giving us that mushroom check. No dice, though. 50 rupees there on mushroom. And GGW going to fill up a bottle, leave that there, and is not going to... neither of our runners, as Buane is turning in that mushroom as well, neither of our runners is going to worry about fake powder.
Makes sense. You're this close to go mode. At least from Buane's perspective, you don't necessarily want to go super far out of logic. You already know your powder's GT.
All right, moment of truth here. What medallion do we need to get into Mire? And if it's Bombos, is it just under the doormat? The flute was in a Pengator chest.
And I believe that was an Ether Mire, so that is accessible as you see a heart container and the last bottle in Mire's shed.
Bottle percent
Lovely
achieved.
location. Yeah, lovely locations for baubles today, which is really rather unfortunate for GGW. That fire rod wouldn't be nearly as awful if the bottles were in better locations. Unfortunately, the bottles were in really bad locations.
Well, one of them was in Paradox Cave. It's only bad because there was nothing else up on the mountain of note whatsoever. You know.
Yeah, just 2 bottles.
Yeah, and a book, which led to nothing.
Nope.
All right, GW getting that vanilla ice rod there as Buane is headed into Misery Mire. We are looking for the boots, everybody. They are hard required. Desert is boots locked.
It does mean that Aga has to be dead because we have everything else we need for go mode. And boots obviously can't be on the lumberjack ledge.
All right, GGW is going back into the swamp portal. Needs to go to Sitkid and get that fire rod. Oh no, is he going back into swamp?
Oh no.
Oh no.
GGW, maybe feeling behind and doing an unusual play. Unfortunately, Buane's already done this in 1 trip, which is just more time loss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Odd Mire here for Buane, who's heading straight to the back. Oh! Hi!
Never mind.
Okay,
At
we're
1
done.
hour and 2 minutes and sun. That's go mode for Buane.
And that is confirmed GG's for Buane, who continues the God route and is honestly, yeah. Unfortunately, at this point, we can officially call it that GanonsGoneWild is very, very behind.
Yeah, no, it's gonna take some kind of miracle here for GGW at this point. You know, like, had an out. Like, you know, when he was going to do Smith Chain, you know, could have just mirrored over and gotten and done Sick Kid and still would, and very much would have been in this. Unfortunately, chose not to, or forgot, or whatnot. But whatever is not can't feel good about that.
I would not feel behind, honestly, from Buane's perspective. He's routed this very, very well. Other than some overworld cleanups such as Smith Chain, some of the tablets, a couple odds and ends. After the Thieves Town, I think it was, he's really not done any inefficient checks, to be honest, and he's I don't think you feel behind in Buane's vision. I don't necessarily feel ahead, but I mean he's felt pretty comfortable. He hasn't last location anything. He's gotten everything pretty much on the way from his perspective.
Yeah, no, sometimes you just go to where all the items are. It's as simple as that.
And I can't tell if you're joking there, Tam.
Tam is definitely joking.
Maybe not. Buane was second place in the NMG tourney just perhaps not long ago.
Yeah, no, his time's pretty good. All right, just a Lanmoas fight here between Buane and Ganon's Tower already. After this this very Jet seed. Jet was in the previous race here, but this was one of his seeds here. As we're in go mode in just over 60 minutes here.
Yes, indeed. So while we watch Buane beat Landmos, you want to talk about a little game we like to play?
Yeah. There used to be a bot that helped us do this, but did you know, Star, that there are 22 locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower where the Ganon's Tower Big Key can be?
Mm-hmm.
There are 22 of them, and you can put a number in chat and try to guess where it's going to be.
Yep, so my guess was 15. It looks like you put in 10.
I did put in 10. 10 used to be my my standby guess. And then I started choosing 9. Because whenever you need a random number, you should just 9 is the random number you get. So but somebody took 9, so I went with 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
No, GGW going, no. Back up to Spiral Cave looking for that fire rod. No, it's Sick Kid, buddy. It's Sick Kid.
Unfortunately, I think he's just completely forgotten Sick Kid at this point in the game.
Poor Sick Kid. He's sitting there. He's got a fever. All he wants, of course he's got a fever. He's got a fire rod in bed with him, right? All he wants is to see a bottle and give you this fire rod. And GanonsGoneWild just not coming through for him. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah. So, where is everything for GanonsGoneWild? We never saw Bombos. Fire Rod bottle is on Sick Kid, which GGW has completely forgotten existed, looks like, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yep. And then, so that Fire Rod leads to a Fluven Swamp and Boots and Mire, and that's go mode.
Yeah, Pod was absolutely loaded today with the mitts, the flippers, and the mirror all in there. No pendant dungeons required at all. GGW and Hera, unfortunately, here. You know, like I said, sometimes you just read the seed right. You know, sometimes you go to where all the items are, and today Buane did that, and unfortunately GGW did not.
Mm-hmm. And just a continued chain of unfortunate events has led to GGW in Pendant Hera. I expect he will likely check out the at least dip Pendant TR to see if he can get anywhere.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, without the fire rod, might not get very far, and hopefully for his case, won't get very far. All right, check number 1 in Ganon's Tower is bombs on the torch.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, for GGW's sake, we hope that he either finds bombos or the fire rod, or junk in the first check of TR. GGW needs to go to 6th Kid. He's apparently forgotten it exists. It has Fire Rod, which leads to his Flute and Ice Palace, which leads to his Boots and Mire, and that's go mode.
Yeah, and bringing up, if you had gone to Agina in Sphere 1, there was nothing of value on the mountain. The only thing that the mountain got us is 2 bottles, which got us our Fire Rod and Sick Kid, which so far required to get into Ice Palace. But there was also a bottle at Agina, so if you had gone there, there would have been nothing of value on Death Mountain at all, or in any of the pendant dungeons, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, I hate calling races, but there's no way GanonsGoneWild can come back from this at this point. There's just too far behind as he goes for the coffee break chest, which makes a lot of sense in his position. It just doesn't pay out. As you see, they're looking at in the right side of GT.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10, and 11, they're coming up empty for Buane in Compass Room. We did get a French vanilla compass, though. That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what check the compass is, just that it's in that room.
Upper left. It's the one that opens up all the pits.
Yep. Yeah, book was on mountain, but only gave the cape and access to desert, which just told you were boots locked. Yeah, but not technically the god mode. You could have skipped the Death Mountain altogether, but it made a lot more sense than the Kina from the way they rerouted it.
That was just 10 arrows in Hera Basement. That was check number 12 in the double fire bar room. Fire Snakes here is check number 13 for Buane.
Mm-hmm. Here's a small key. Mm-hmm.
Buane,
I'm really wondering if we're going to end up seeing Bombos here in GT, which I'm just curious where it is, honestly.
Yeah, at this point, you wonder. Alright, Rando Room is trash. Buane still in NMG mode, dropping those bombs to get a better menu for the Ganon fight.
Mm-hmm. And if something unfortunate did happen to win like a power out, no one really wants to win because of that. They would just do a re-race. Yeah, Buane is getting rid of his bombs to make quips a lot faster. As GGW, please don't find a key in the first check. We want for GGW to get keylock out of here as soon as possible. Well, there's a shovel on Nice Armos.
That was 18 in Bob's chest.
And bad news for GGW, that was a key. Hopefully he gets locked out of here soon. Well, either gets locked out of here or finds Bombos. One or the other would both work. He just needs to do it.
19 is the map. 20 is Big 20. 21! It's the dream! It's Tile Room. Everybody's favorite.
Yep, if you bet 22, you win. There's another
GG's to Blind Chaos 95, our first 22 guess in chat. You win nothing, but congratulations.
Mm-hmm. As GGW finds a second key and keeps going in Turtle Rock, which...
Yeah, if the key layout is right, you can make it all the way to Laser Bridge without the Fire Rod.
Mm-hmm. We would have preferred for him to get key locked out as soon as possible, but unfortunately that isn't happening.
No. There's our big key, and Buane is off to the climb.
Yep, vanilla big key and Turtle Rock, not surprised. Yeah, at this point it looks like it is almost certain that Bombos has to be fire rod locked.
Yeah, at this point, probably off in or boots locked. Could be in one of the boots locked chests.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, chat, if hopefully we'll be able to have both of these runners in for an interview after the race. If you've got any questions that you'd like for us to ask our runners on air, throw them in chat and we'll write them down, and we'll see what we can do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, GGW has completely forgotten about Sick Kid, it appears.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a question that we ask him.
Mm-hmm. Yet another green 20 in the Mimic Cave. GGW is still not locked out. Correct, this is a best-of-3 series, so despite taking will be a loss in this first game, there will be a game 2.
That's a good question. I'll be sure to ask Buane, how are you so powerful and handsome? That's good. Question for Buane, what percentage of the things Act the Boker says should we believe? I can answer that, and the answer is 0%.
Yeah, so this race is on a 10-minute delay. I just looked over at race time. A little bit of a chuckle. Won't comment on what exactly it is. We'll get them in for interview anyway. But yeah, the race has, yeah, it's not a spoiler at this point to say who won, because it's been pretty obvious for a little while now.
Yeah, no, it you know, you don't like to call them, but I think we can call this one. It is too bad here, just a clinic by Buane, going to where the items are.
Yeah, as GJW has the, in this case, really, really bad luck to go always through TR without a fire rod. Mining 10 arrows. And 20 rupees.
If Bombos is here, there it
Hey!
is. He might think that this is required.
He might, until Blade dot done in about 5 minutes.
Oh no. I gotta ask about that.
Oh man. At least he found Bamboo's, though I'm afraid to say he will not find Gobo today before Blade finishes.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, I like GGW getting into the Pen Gator chest before Buane finishes this race.
Well, no, his
Gomo's the boots. That's right. I was just thinking of the food. Yeah, no, he's not getting the Gomo. So there were two valid routes. It's just that one of them was way better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got to fight with Ganon, the big pig himself, over on Buane's side. Gets Trident Spin there, set up for the 1-1 here in phases 1 and 2. Got the first laugh.
How is GGW behind? A combination of Buane god routing the seed and an unfortunate brain fire from GGW on Sick Kid. which had the fire rod. There was an alternate route. GGW did not get key locked out by fire rod and pendant turtle rock, and eventually found bomb moves all the way on the laser bridge. Several minutes after Buane hit go mode, and well past the point of being saved, unfortunately.
He doesn't quite get that first one off. Gets torch glitch though. Now 12 spins. Oh jeez, why you gotta do that spin right to the edge? Give me a heart attack.
Yeah, please don't take a fall. It would make a difference at this point, but it still feels bad.
Oh, Sky Shadow, I misunderstood your question, so please disregard my snarky answer there. I see what you're asking now, which makes a lot more sense. There it is. Get your GGs in chat for Buane taking down Ganon. All is 1-by-3 bridge away from Game 1 victory.
And GG's 119-11.
GG's to Buane. We're going to see if we can get Buane in here for an interview.
Yep. And I do see him in the waiting room, so he'll be up just shortly.
And we are joined by today's winner, Buane. GG to you, sir.
Hey, everybody. Thank you.
So well done. You went to where all of the items were in this seed. Good job. How do you think? How do you feel coming off of this seed?
It was an interesting seed. Obviously, there was like most seeds, there was a very, very fast route through this one that was possible, and I think fairly reasonable too. I didn't hate my route, but you know, whenever you're kind of in that spot, first of all, you're getting boots for go mode, or you know, you're stuck on 2 items to go for a very long time. You can come up with plenty of spots where, well, if it's here, then I could be behind by a lot. So I felt okay. You know, I didn't do some things that were very slow, and then I did do other things that were pretty slow. So I felt okay. You know, there was definitely a possibility I was going to lose by a lot, and there was a possibility I was going to win by a lot. It was just that kind of seed. There were just a lot of different ways it could have gone. I told GanonsGoneWild post-race, I said, you know, if we were playing against a time traveler from 2017, we would have gotten smoked in this seed, because this is straight up 2017's routing. Just go to all the crystal dungeons as soon as possible and do the stuff in the area of the crystal dungeons, and you sub 60 this seed.
Yeah, you're god mode at this because you got the items in almost all the most efficient order. A couple things where you did do the Smith Chain and some other odds and ends overworld cleanup, and then you also went to the mountain for those bottles, which you could have gotten from Agina, but in either case, honestly, you routed it very, very well. You just ran across everything, which unfortunately cannot be said for GGW, who routed differently, so had less efficient routing. One nice thing is that you got Mirror and Pod, which let you chain those back to back. GGW double dipped the area.
Yeah, geez, talk about a loaded pod. There was
Right.
a million items in pod. Jeez.
I was gonna ask you what drove you to go to Pod before Eastern there.
I wasn't gonna go to pod, honestly, first thing in Dark World until I got the lamp. Just trying to avoid a pod disaster with no fire source. Obviously, you can complete it with no fire source, but you know, the likelihood of a disaster, even for players who are very experienced at doing Dark Pod, was a little too spicy for me. But getting Lamp where I did was fantastic. So then I just kind of rerouted. Okay, I'm not going to do Sahastral and Eastern. I'm going to do Pod first because exactly that scenario. If you do find the mirror in Pod, that's very nice. If you don't find the mirror if you don't find something, you know, if mirror's not there, I guess, then you're going to go do Eastern anyway. And even if mirror is in Eastern, it doesn't lose you any time to have done Pod first. So
Makes sense, and it paid out. GGW, as I saw in the race of me guys discussing, completely forgot Sick Kid.
Oh,
yeah,
that's too bad. I'm not sure if we're gonna be joined by GW here. I haven't heard, but I was gonna ask him. And it seems from the race time chat that pulled out Bombos from Laser Bridge of TR without the fire rod. Here's GGW here in just a moment, so we'll get him up here.
Mm-hmm.
imagine the cruelty of the seed actually letting you get to Laser Bridge to find Bombos, and you think that that's the answer, but of course the seed is just being as mean as possible. I mean, you play this game long enough, you will forget every location at least once.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just how it happens, and it's going to happen. And GanonsGoneWild just played this game a very long time. I've played this game a very long time. We've both forgotten lots of locations, and I'm sure this, you know, there's more on the horizon for both of us in terms of forgetting things. Sometimes it doesn't hurt you, and other times, of course, it's the entire difference in the race.
Yeah, and we are joined by GanonsGoneWild here. GG's to you, friend.
Yeah, thanks.
Yo, GG.
Yeah, GG, Buane.
When you got to Bombos on Laser Bridge, did you think that you had just kind of galaxy brained the seed at that point? How good did you feel about finding that there?
I still felt like I was completely behind because the only two checks I had left in the game was like Sick Kid and Eastern Palace Big Key Chest. So it's just basically if I get a Jet seed against Buane, I'm gonna lose, and if I get a Fundo seed against Buane, I'm gonna lose. So it's just I need something that's like more in between, and it looks like Buane basically just got her out of this. So and I just skipped Sick Kid and got destroyed. So you know.
Yeah, you were already a little bit behind, unfortunately, due to the God route, and then Sick Kid just sealed your fate.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the VOD, it was actually pretty close. If I just went to Sick Kid and got the Fire Rod before doing all the Smith stuff, which is when I should have done it, I could have actually just saved and quit and went to Ice, and I would have actually been ahead. So
yeah, no, you were right there at that point.
Yeah, you were close, but yeah.
Yeah, so if I had done what I was supposed to do, then things would have been very close. But yeah, just forgot. I actually remembered, it just forgot once I actually got over there. I was like, oh, I got a bottle, I still have to do Sick Kid, and then I just forgot. So
no, we've all done that 1,000 times, so I totally get it. Did neither of you checked Spiral Cave? Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I skipped Spiral and I skipped Spike Cave because I was leaving some stuff on the table to go up to Death Mountain when I did. And just there was so much open in the world. Like that was Pod gave you access to everything. And instead of doing any of the stuff that Pod gave me access to, I went and did, I guess Mitts were in Pod too. So that was Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain. They're very easy. Didn't have anything, didn't think it was good at the time, but I guess I got the bottles up there, which really helped out. There's a version of this seed where I go to Ice Palace before Swamp and before doing any of the stupid Smith stuff, but that would have been insanely fast if that had happened. But
yeah,
it's hard. I'd already skipped like 3 or 4 things, like Eastern Palace, Big Key Chest, didn't finish Hera. Obviously, why am I going to do that? Spike Cave, Spiral Cave. So once I was done with Thieves, I was like, I could skip the Smith stuff and just do the Crystal Dungeons, but that's kind of pushing it. Like once you get up to like 7 or 8 skips, like it's not a great situation. So I did all the slow stuff, and then I was like, I'll do Swamp and into Ice, and then we can do Pyramid Fairy into all the Flippers checks, and of course we don't even get that far. So Just it worked out, like, could have been amazingly good, just was kind of okay instead, which, you know, a lot of times okay is gonna be good enough in rando.
Yeah, I could have routed to do both on the mountain, but I just didn't feel like spending the time because I just need to save as much time as I can against Buane. So I only did Spike Cave, and I got one item out of Hera. I just said I'm out.
I really think when you haven't had boots for, like, once you get to the 30-minute mark plus without boots, you do got to start thinking about skipping some stuff, because, you know, if your opponent skips one or two things that are very slow and you do them without boots, like, it's very, very hard. You might not get boots until, I don't know, whenever the heck we got boots at the end of the game. It's hard to make up that time without boots. So I do think it's pretty proper. Like, we've got lots of access. These two really slow checks up here on Death Mountain. Let's just not do them. I do think that that's pretty right in a situation where you don't have boots for so long.
That's a good point that I haven't really thought about. That the later you go without getting the boots, maybe the more skips you have to make in order to feel like you're staying competitive. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that before.
When they're in reason. Like, when I did Death Mountain, I had so much more stuff to do, and, you know, that seems pretty easy. I was kind of worried also, like, it was a very skippable, or at least a delay, Ice Rod Cave possibility, and I walked all the way over there and got Ice Rod, and then of course it's, you know, green pendant T-Rock. I'm thinking, like, this is either really good, you know, my opponent definitely could have skipped Ice Rod Cave, but if he didn't, like, that's a minute almost that I've already lost, and it's really hard to make up a minute without boots. And of course, you know, you go longer and longer and longer without boots. So, you know, in the end, obviously didn't matter. But of course, those are in a 1v1 in a tournament setting. All of those things are on your mind. Like, oh, I'm already a minute behind, or, you know, I'm going to skip this, and if the item is there, then I've lost. And oh wow, I could have gotten this item so much earlier, and my opponent definitely got this as soon as possible. So now I'm in trouble. Like, all of those things are just constantly running through your head in this situation. So it's kind of hard to keep clear mind for what you want to do next, even.
Absolutely. Well, GG's to both of you. Do you have a game 2 scheduled yet?
Yeah, it's tomorrow at like 10:30 Eastern.
Our only I believe that's our only match on the restream schedule tomorrow. So you will be all on your own for that one. So looking forward to that. That is, tomorrow night at 10:40 p.m. right here on Speed Gaming 2, Game 2 between GanonsGoneWild and Buane. The dynamic duo of Fear Agent and Gamachu on commentary for that one. So that one should be a lot of fun. So thank you both. Star, do you have any... I'm running away with it. Star, do you have any more questions for our runners?
Particularly, we've been pretty thorough. Just shoutouts to both of our runners, GanonsGoneWild and to Buane, to my co-commentator Charlie Soul, and to our tracker Link for Zero as well.
Yeah, thank you all. And thank you to Speed Gaming, of course, for arranging the restream. GG's to both of our runners, and good luck in Game 2 tomorrow. That's going to be it for us on Speed Gaming as far as Randomizer is concerned here today. Let's pull up the schedule, see if there's anything else going on the Speed Gaming family of networks. If you hop over to... that is Speed Gaming 3. They've got some combo Super Metroid Link to the Past randomizer going on over their community race, as well as over on Speed Gaming Prime, some Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament over there on Speed Gaming Prime right now. So thank you all very much for joining us, for my co-commentator Star, for both of our runners Buane, and GanonsGoneWild, for Link Force Zero, for all of us here at Speed Gaming. Thank you all very much for joining us here this evening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time for Game 2 between Buane and GGW. Thanks, everybody, and have a good evening.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.